Smith and Mosley High School student Kendall Susie.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm forecasting a nice day today. Mostly sunny skies in the low 80s. A northeast wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Mostly clear around 60 tonight. Light north winds. High pressure building in for Thursday and Friday. More sunshine, a few scattered clouds. They'll be hovering around 80 degrees each afternoon Thursday and Friday. And we'll have southeast winds about 10-12 miles per hour each day. Showers and thunderstorms return for the weekend. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Slim Chickens, Kraft means something. Kraft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Kraft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, Kraft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Kraft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
What's up, everybody? David Pollock here with Bar Burritos. Did you know that Bar Burritos has 35 farm-fresh ingredients? That means you have over 3,000 entree combinations that you can put on your plate. Luckily, Bar Burritos put together their 9 under 500-calorie menu, which features 9 different entrees that you can feel great about eating. Try the ground turkey salad with double protein, the mini chicken burrito, or my personal favorite Friday meal, fish tacos with guacamole. It's a winning play with Bar Burritos.
When it comes to moving your most valuable possessions, make sure you make the right choice for a smooth, hassle-free experience. Call the best Smooth Moves of Northwest Florida. They are licensed and insured. They perform full-service residential and commercial moving services, packing and unpacking, and even furniture arrangement. Smooth Moves of Northwest Florida has the lowest hourly rates in the area. Whether you're moving across town or across the country, they can handle it. Smooth Moves of Northwest Florida. Veteran-owned and operated.
Call 850-319-8925.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. 102.1, 104.3, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get past the people, get past the hit me.
Hit me! 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Appreciate all the calls yesterday. John, are we giving away anything today at all?
Yes, we are. As a matter of fact, let me pull up my cheat sheet here. The wrestling match is going on this Saturday, April the 30th at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Gates open up at 5:30. Wrestling starts at 6:30, and excuse me. And we have tickets. 2 tickets to give away today, so some lucky caller. Going to get a couple of set of tickets to go and watch some pretty big names in wrestling. And, of course, it's wrestling against cancer, so it's a good cause.
I heard there's going to be a tri-match, Brian versus Glenn. Lynn versus Brant. It's going to be crazy, man.
I didn't see that on the bill,
Oh,
but I'm glad
it's
there.
a top secret match. Everybody, they've been training hard. They have been training really hard. In fact, you went out to Vegas and Denver to get a little bit more training when you were going, right?
Yeah,
Brian's with us this morning, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta say, if anybody
Morning,
wants,
Brian.
I'll throw in some American Airlines Advantage points.
Yeah, you had a
Considering
good
how
trip.
much time I spent in the air over the last couple of days.
It charged you rent.
It was, I don't know if you want to hear about it. It was certainly a comedy of errors in trying to get me home from Denver, Colorado. So.
Well, when you were going, a lot has happened. I mean,
yeah.
It's crazy. Today we got Mark McLeod. Hopefully at 8:30, talking about everything with the Florida Gators, Florida baseball. Will anybody be? How many people will be drafted from Florida tonight? Or draft tomorrow night?
Yeah.
From Vegas. I thought maybe you'd just fly out from Denver to Vegas to watch the draft. Did you even think about it? I mean,
No, I should have. I mean, I could have
You were close.
driven home from Las Vegas in the time it took me to fly home from Denver, but no, it was
it was crazy, wasn't it?
it was interesting.
All right, I want to get into this. Mosley, as you heard, because you texted me, said, what in the heck is going
Yeah.
on? Well, we don't know. Nobody knows. That's the talk yesterday after the show. Walking around, everybody's asking me. I said, we don't know. I just know they got a lot of respect for the administration over there. Doug Lee is as good as it goes. I mean, he is unbelievable as an athletic director of baseball. Everything he does, he's really great at. The principal over there, great people. And Hudson, we love Hudson. And it shows the kind of character the guy has. You know, you get let go in the middle after, I guess, I don't know if it was after the Arnold game. I don't know when it was. We'll have him on tomorrow. I don't know how much he wants to talk about that. If he doesn't, that's fine. But we want to talk about Mosley baseball. But what he did after going through all that, all they did last night was beat Crestview 8-1. That shows the type of character the guy has. He's not laying around crying. He's getting his job done. He's doing what's the best for these players, and these players are giving everything they got for him. You're talking about the state championship baseball coach, the state number one coach in the state of Florida, the Florida Farmers winner last year, and at the end of the year, he won't be coaching at Mosley. It's crazy.
Here's what's bothersome, and I'm not going to go too deep into this, obviously, but you and I, have been in coaching our whole lives, basically. And you accept the fact that there may be decisions made that you think are bad ones, but you accept the fact that they may want to move on from you, whatever like that, anything. The problem with today, when you make a move like that and there's such an information vacuum like there is on this, the social media stuff and everybody who can just comment freely about things with no recourse and no worry about being wrong is so toxic and problematic that it's just, I don't know, it's really upset me the way that this is going. And if you want to move on from a coach, fine. Maybe the right decision, maybe the wrong decision, but put out there exactly what's going on this side or the other so there isn't this information vacuum and people's reputations and all that get dragged through the mud unnecessarily. It's nonsense, and I'm just sick of it.
You brought up a great point there, and we all think back to Auburn, all the stuff that was said about Harsin, and then we find out Harsin didn't go anywhere, and as a matter of fact, Harsin had some damages. He could have gone after Auburn and some certain people if he wanted to, and Coach Hudson, I know one thing, that one nasty thing was being said, found out that's absolutely not true.
Sure.
Some of the negative things been said are not true whatsoever.
Well, and those of you who traffic in that, I know this, when it's totally false, you're the problem.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get a life.
You ruined somebody's. Anyway, it's just kind of a sad situation. But we don't know, hey, it is what it is. You look at Mosley High School, the way it's been run, an A school, athletics, they've been number one in just about everything.
Yeah.
They got a certain standard over there. So it's hard to question them. And then you turn around and you look at Coach Hudson. How do you not want him to be? It's just a different situation going on.
Sure.
And we don't, like you said, we really don't know we might not ever know what happened.
Right.
Because the bottom line is all they've got to do is say we're not going to renew you, and that's it.
Sure.
They don't have to say anything else.
Sure.
And we just got to live with it. But again, a lot of respect for the administration over there. Love the athletic director, and Coach Hudson. We think the world of him. So it's just kind of a sad thing, but we do got to report it. Rutherford last night lost. I tell you what, Coach Coach Coffin's doing such a great job at Rutherford. They played really well against South Walton, got beat 2-1. And then we had Bozeman. Man, Coach, I saw Donna Bell. I don't know if I told you. I saw Donna. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and she's just like always a beautiful lady. Great person. Love her to death.
So the restraining order expired?
Well, I tried to get a bunch of pictures. I want to get a picture of her. I was going to make copies and sell them. I could make money because Donna's in the picture. That's what Patton does at Bozeman. They got a fundraiser. Donna sits. Everybody comes by and says, get your picture made with
what
her.
He's doing.
Pay $5, and he's making a killing over there. But anyway, Bozeman gets it done. They played really well last night. They beat Bay 12-0.
Oh,
Bozeman got a chance to do something special.
Bozeman's
The
got
number
a
one team,
good
I believe, in 1A. Unbelievable.
Good team.
Softball yesterday, Mariana, and thank you all you wonderful people up in Mariana listening to us now. And I should know the number up there, but I'll just make it up. 102 point something. What is it?
There's a radio station up there, don't
Yeah, we're on some station up there. 102 something. We appreciate
we
that.
finally got that fixed. Huh?
Yeah. And so we appreciate the Mariana people. Also, we got Chipley and people up there. Anyway, Mariana lost to Wakulla 6-4. We all know Wakulla's got great. Everything they do, they're really good. Weewall beat Arnold. What? Weewall beat Arnold 2-1. What the heck happened there? That's shocked me. Weewall always got a good team, and Rick always got a really good team. Yeah, that must have been a heck of a ball game. Vernon beats Bay 12-2. North Bay Haven beats Franklin County 3-0. And there you got it. Brian is back in the saddle today. Good to have him in here. Did a wonderful job last week. What you in here? 3 days last? Two or 3 days?
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Wednesday last week. Jeremy came in Thursday, and then Friday, of course, we had the national show. Brian, real quick, Georgia's going through some stuff. I don't know if you heard about this. Kenny McIntosh arrested, woman hospitalized, charged with reckless driving, failure to use a safety belt. Drove a Dodge Challenger at 4 o'clock in the morning, 20 miles over the speed limit, collided with a woman. I don't know what she was in. I just know she's from Stone Mountain, Georgia. She was sent to the hospital, leg pain, chest pains, lost conscious for a period of time. He left. He left the scene.
Oh, Lord.
But he came back. Thank God. I know it's terrible he left. I know that. But at least young man.
Sometimes you freak out, though, when something like that happens.
Yeah. And then he came back. Told police he was going about, he said, I'm going about 60 miles an hour, 40-mile-an-hour zone. Anyway, hate it for him. Another Georgia football player was hurt somewhat in it too, so they didn't give his name. But McIntosh, the bad thing, he fled, but he did come back. Sometimes, like you said, you freak out and then come back, and sometimes you freak out, get rid of some stuff, and come back. But hopefully that wasn't the case.
But so soon after the Henry Ruggs thing, I mean, you got to understand that. I mean, you can. I mean, not only ruin your own career and this or the other, you can end a life.
And that's sad, man. Anyway, and that kid's from Montgomery, Alabama, my hometown. I hate that. Baseball, I am getting this in here, baby. The number 4 team in the United States of America, the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, 32-8. I think they won last night. I'm not sure. I got to go back and check on that. But this is Division I baseball top 25. Of course, you got different polls. I like this one because Southern Mississippi has dominated the SEC. They've beaten Alabama. They've beaten Mississippi State. They've beaten Ole Miss. And now they're number 4 team in the country. And, Brian, I'm going to tell you what, I know you hate the school, but I got to give credit to them. Tennessee, they got a team. 37-3. I think Florida's got a series getting ready to go against them. Oregon State was number 2. They're 31-8. Miami is third, 31-9, and Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, 32-8. Of course, your beautiful mother.
This bowl is like my worst nightmare.
Wait, let's go back to Southern Mississippi. Your beautiful mother went to Southern Mississippi, correct?
Mother and father.
And
my dad actually went there to play baseball.
Well, heck, then we need to get him on here, man. What's the deal? Did he play?
He did. He tore up his shoulder his freshman year.
What year was he there?
In the 60s.
We need to get him on here one day. That'd be awesome. I'd like to ask him a couple. Who do you remember who the coach was then?
No, I have no idea. I don't know who the coach is now. To be honest with you.
I don't either.
He was just a pup back then.
He was.
He
was even thought of back then. At number 5, Arkansas, they got a great baseball team. The number 1 in the West, 31-9. Stanford is 24-12. Virginia Tech is number 7, 28-9. Eighth rank is Oklahoma State. They always have a good ball club, 27-13. Number 9, Texas Tech, 29-14. Number 10, your Texas Longhorns, 30-13. Number 11, Virginia, 31-10. Number 12, Gonzaga. How you say it?
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, 26-11. Number 13, UCLA, 27-12. 14, the mighty Georgia Bulldogs, 28-12. Connecticut's 15, 32-8. I'm sure they play a tough schedule up in that cold weather up there. I think they're overrated. That's just me. Number 16, Louisville, 27-12. 17, Texas Tech, they're 32-9. 18, Notre Dame, 26-8. And the Auburn Tigers, Roar Damn Eagle, they're 19. I saw James Qualmeyer yesterday. I hadn't seen him for forever, it seems like, and he loves those Auburn Tigers. 19, Auburn, 29-12. Number 20, TCU, 27-13. 21, Texas A&M, 25-14. 22, LSU, 27-12. Maryland is 23, 32-8, having a really good year. Number 24, Georgia Southern, 27-12. Wofford, number 25, 30-10. Now, at one time, when Southern Mississippi beat Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss was like 8th in the country. Mississippi State, I think, when they beat them, were ranked.
It's been a while since State's been ranked because they came out of the gates real slow and had some injuries early. Ole Miss, at one point this year, was ranked number 1 in the country, and they've just really fallen off a cliff. I've lost a lot of sleep over that. But
Who do you think? Who do you think when they get to the SEC tournament? Who do you think comes out of it? You think Tennessee gets it done, or is it going to be somebody?
Tennessee's the best team in the country, and it's not very close. It is baseball, so we'll have to see. Arkansas is solid. I don't know. I kind of LSU's a little better, I think, than maybe their record's showing. We'll see. It's whichever team has a couple of pitchers get hot late in the year.
There you go.
That's how it goes.
When we get back, Brian's going to talk about a little bit about FSU. Not a whole lot out there. We've got the draft tomorrow night. You got the, Jim took your thunder yesterday. The new volleyball coach they hired. Soccer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Volleyball, soccer, same thing. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about some of our great people today. Today is the day. World famous J. Michael Spaghetti. If you never had it, man, treat yourself today. Go over that bridge. Take a left on Thomas Drive. Get all the way down there. To the left, you'll see Captain Anderson's. To the right, you'll see the legendary J. Michael's restaurant. Seriously, if you've never been there, they got shotguns hanging from the wall, pistols hanging from the wall. You name it, they've got it. It's unbelievable. Every legendary coach around, Bear Bryant, Bob Hope's, and I tell you that picture of Bob Hope and Bear Bryant, they're feeling pretty good. They're at some kind of party. They might be at Bear's lake house. I don't know if they're having a good time.
Surely not.
Yeah, I saw Brian back in the background, a little bit. He was like 2 years old at the time. It's incredible. Crazy.
Neither confirm nor deny.
Glenn still looked old in the picture, though. Glenn was feeling pretty good. But anyway, get to J. Michael's restaurant. World famous spaghetti, only on Wednesday. Steverson Air Conditioning. Nobody does a better job than Jason. I'm telling you right now, the heat is coming, baby. Get it serviced. It's going to run better. It's going to save you money. Better yet, buy a brand new one. The only thing you'll ever buy that'll pay for itself. South Oak Title and Closing. Chuck Tucker. That's all you got to say. Chuck Tucker. You want him. You demand him. South Oak Title and Closing. We'll be right back. Legendary 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. FSU. Right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. If you want to win at the highest level, because remember with Kyler and Aaron, the ending of seasons is becoming very predictable. Aaron's seasons don't end well. About 7-8 years this. And Kyler's last 3 years have not ended well. You want your seasons to end well? Lean in.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 11 to 2, ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies today. High pressure building in behind that weather front. It'll be warm. Temperatures around 80 or so. A northeast wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 74. Mostly clear with an air temperature overnight around 60. Light winds overnight. Near 80 Thursday. Mostly sunny skies. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber. Best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Let your spring adventure begin at Bill Byrne Kia. Stop by today to discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorrento. Bill Byrne Kia is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillByrdKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for the purchase of a new 2022 Forte, K5, Soul, and Sorrento with $21.65 per month per 1,000 financed and 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Byrne Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/2/22.
We don't know what his problem is,
Quit moaning, we're all hurting.
but it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
That don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to Florida State, brought to you by Newbies. You want to have a great time. There's 3 great locations, and you have a great time at every one of them. Newbies 2 on the Curve, been remodeled, absolutely gorgeous in there. It's the place to watch the Atlanta Braves as you listen to it on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You can watch SEC baseball, softball, you name it, NBA. Get out there and enjoy yourself. The Mothership, the best bands in the Southeast, every Friday and Saturday night. Big John's back in town. Hopefully we'll get him here tomorrow. He's so busy. I know it's going to be tough for him, but him and Shark do such a wonderful job. Brian, I know there's not a whole lot out there, but you've been on a little wild trip. But talk a little bit about FSU, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, we'll start with baseball, since baseball season going on here. And so the Bill Allen Heart Monitor Watch is back on.
Has he been happy or sad?
Well,
lately?
they swept Louisville, who's ranked, as we went through there. So I think he was happy there for a while. And then they go on the road to Clemson, play an ACC series there, and unfortunately dropped that series. They did pick up the Saturday game, but Friday night they had Clemson dead to rights and then gave up a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th. Clemson takes the lead, wins 6-4 on Friday. Saturday, FSU ekes one out 4-3 and then loses the rubber match on Sunday, 8-5. Now that puts FSU at 24-15. They're still 11-10 in the conference, 20-7 at home and 4-7 away from home. So their record being pretty good at home. Good news is they are at home. The bad news is they host TCU, who's also nationally ranked. And It's kind of odd this late in the year to have a non-conference series, but TCU coming in like that. So no midweek game this week, but a big weekend series in Tallahassee. If they can get this series, that'd be good momentum heading into the stretch run here for FSU.
Yeah, you were talking about Bill Allen. We all know how Bill feels about what should have happened there. But I'm trying to really find out who was a better baseball player back in the day. Was it Greg, the mayor, Greg Bernicki, or was it Bill Allen? I'd like to know really what people think. Who was the best baseball player? I know Bill was really good, but I heard the mayor was pretty good.
We may be getting our answer here.
Yeah. I don't know. We will find out shortly. I want to, real quick, I know you're in FSU, but I do want to say this.
Hi, who's this?
Bay High School boys and Rutherford girls, both at state for tennis, so good luck to both those. I failed to mention that this morning. I apologize. So good luck to them. But anyway, I would like to know, Bill was a great player. I know that. And I know Greg was a great player. And I know they both would like to see Florida State win a national championship in baseball.
Which one of them has the power to shut us down?
I would probably pick the mayor. I think the mayor is really outstanding person, and I'm a big Mayor's fan now.
Well, the tough thing is I think they're both listening. So, a couple other things here. Basketball. Former FSU player Scotty Barnes was named the NBA Rookie of the Year this year. He edged out Evan Mobley of the Cavaliers. Scotty Barnes is with the Raptors, Toronto Raptors. But it was the closest vote since they've gone to the new scoring system in 2002, 378 to 363. Scotty Barnes took 48 first place votes to Evan Mobley's 43. Now, Barnes, again, selected last year number 4 by the Raptors. He's averaging 15.3 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He's shooting 49% from the field. Unfortunately, an ankle injury somewhat hampered him here in the playoffs. They're in a series with the 76ers, but he was back last night to help the Raptors get a Game 5 win. So, Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year. Congratulations to him. And then, I think we got a call coming in.
We got a call. Do we have a phone call? I think we do. All right, let's take this phone call. We appreciate people calling in.
We got Mr. David Kelly, I believe.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing outstanding. You having a good day?
Oh, wonderful day.
Great.
Beautiful day driving to work to Tyndall, and just wanted to call and just give a shout out to the Arlen Marlins, the student athletes. I was there yesterday, their national letter of intent signing, and had 9 athletes, I believe, in 7 different sports.
Wow, I saw that. Yeah, that's outstanding. Good-looking kids.
Yeah.
Talk about them. Tell us what you got for us.
Well, one of them was my daughter, Amelia Kelly. She's a senior at Arnold. We moved here in Amelia's 9th grade year from Hawaii, and she joined the cross country and track team, and just been doing it for 4 years. And all her hard work paid off. She'll be heading to Tallahassee in the fall, running cross country and track. And she's got a friend on the team that's going to West Florida. Got a scholarship to West Florida to run. I think there were 2 football players. There were a volleyball player, soccer player, and a basketball player. So
yeah,
well diverse, and just some great student athletes. So I was really impressed. I've lived all over the world, and to see 9 kids get different scholarships in one sitting, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I saw it. Matter of fact, I saw your daughter, beautiful girl, saw her, because Scott, I happened to turn on about the time they mentioned her going to Tallahassee, and Scott Rossman was talking about her. You got to be proud of her. Now, were you in the military or what? What were you doing over Hawaii?
Yeah, I was in the military, 26 years, retired in the Army, and I came to Panama City Beach as a kid. We lived about 3 hours from here, and I was raised in South Alabama, a small town called Andalusia. I'm pretty sure you're aware of it.
Yes, sir.
And we used to come down here as kids. This was like the paradise for us. And so I told my mom and dad one day I was going to retire and live here. And they said, "That's a good dream, son."
And you did it.
Son.
Yeah, you did it.
Sir.
Hey, that's funny. In 1974, we came down here, and we were all in a station wagon. A bunch of us from Montgomery slept in the car the first night, and then we had a bunch of us put money in and had a hotel room. And I'm like you. I said the same thing. I said, I'm going to live here one day. And sure enough, 25 years later, we moved here, and the rest is history. Been here 20-something, 22, 23 years.
Yeah.
And love it. And we're glad to have you, man. I'm glad you're here, and glad your daughter chose to go to Arnold High School, home of the Marlins.
And thank you for your service.
Yeah, definitely thank you for your service. And that's incredible that she got a scholarship like that. I know it helps your pocketbook somewhat, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. We had 4 kids and just had one graduate West Georgia back in December, and she's off the payroll. Now I got to get Amelia Rose off the payroll. So 4 years, but it's pretty much paid for, so it just really goes to show if you really dedicate yourself and commit to your craft, and big things can happen. So those kids have a bright future ahead of them for sure.
Well, now I was shocked. My Marlins got beaten softball last night. That surprised me. Wakulla beat them.
Yeah.
Did you see that coming?
I did not. Yeah, not sure. I mean, they seem like they're a pretty talented team, and I'd like to see them go far in the playoffs. But I think have they started their playoffs yet?
They're getting ready to. I know that. They're getting ready to get into it. But Wakulla's beaten some bigger schools this year. They evidently have a great softball team, but so does Arnold. So anyway, hey, what college football team you pull for?
Well, I raised in Alabama. So you had to go for Auburn. You know how it works there.
Yeah.
So I think by virtue of my parents, I was an an Alabama fan by default, and but actually growing up in Andalusia, I became a big Gator fan.
Yeah.
Just started watching them and probably in the late 80s, early 90s, and just kind of jumped on board with them. But as soon as my daughter gets to Tallahassee, I'm sure that's going to change.
Well, I'm hoping your roots go back to your home, the Alabama, the Crimson Tide. You need to get back on the bandwagon. You'll enjoy it more. No, I'm just kidding. I will tell you what, when Spurrier was at Florida, I was a huge – and Charlie Pell. I love Charlie Pell. I really love Coach Charlie Pell. I thought he was a great guy. Of course, you know where he played. He played for Bear Bryant, Alabama.
Yeah, Bear Bryant was a god there in Alabama for sure.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
A lot of history there, and yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, we want to give you something. We got anything we give him?
Yeah. We're going to give him 2 tickets to this Saturday's wrestling. Do you say wrestling or wrestling?
It's wrestling.
Is it wrestling?
Whatever I say is wrong, so it doesn't matter.
So David,
hell, I can't even say the names right half time.
On the billboard thing. Yeah. David, we're going to give you a couple tickets. It's this Saturday at the Bay County Fairgrounds. And, of course, it opens at 5:30. The wrestling starts at 6:30. And you got a couple tickets if you come by the studio here and bring some kind of ID. We'll slide
I'll
those
tell you
your
what,
way.
let's do better than that.
Let's do better than that?
Let's give him a Rudy's $25 gift certificate. That way he can have something to eat before he goes or after he goes. How about that? That work out for you?
And a 12-pack, yeah.
Yeah, give him some Pepsi. Hey, he lives on the beach. He's a good Arnold guy. You got to take care of him.
Hey, David, this is his way of trying to get you to take him to lunch.
Don't hang up. I want to talk to you. No. Hey, one more time. Tell us again who your daughter is, because I tell you, she is a pretty little girl. I saw her last night. Give me her name one more time.
Yeah, her name is Amelia Kelly.
Miss Kelly. She's good. Hey, what's she going to major in? She know yet?
She's business. She's going to get a degree in business from FSU.
Well, God bless her. Hey, and God bless you. Thank you for serving in the military. We love people. My dad was in it for 33 years. My brother was a pilot, and we appreciate the military people, and we love the police department and the state troopers, all those guys that put their life on the line every single day. We appreciate all you guys.
Well, thank you, sir. And it's a pleasure to live here in Panama City Beach in the state of Florida. So, got a great governor. Love this state.
Oh, my God. Right. Hey, not only that, we got Jimmy Petronas, which one day I hope would be the governor. I hope our governor goes be the president, and Jimmy could be the governor. And then we got the great Mayor Bernicki right here on Panama City. We got some great people here, man. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Hey, where do you live on the beach? Where are you near? What neighborhood?
We lived in Breakfast Point. We built a house in Breakfast Point when we retired here, and we're actually building a house in Colony Club right now.
Yeah.
And we're almost done. We're almost done. So we should be done in the next week or so.
Our famous mayor, Griff, used to live in Colony. Now he's passed away, but I love that guy. He was a mayor for like 18 years. His boy is doing a great job. He's running again, and hopefully he gets reelected too. But we got some great people here. Hey, thank you so much for listening and calling. We appreciate you. Don't hang up. John's going to tell you what you need to do to get your stuff, and call back anytime, okay?
Okay, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, Brian, that was a great FSU update.
Hey,
I liked it, man.
It was good. I didn't have much more. It was perfect.
Well, I'm hoping Dr. Ward calls us at 7:30. And I'll tell you real quick, let me get some of these sponsors here. We appreciate all, like Buffalo Rock. We appreciate you guys down there. You do a wonderful job. Dr. Chad Mitchell, he's been taking care of athletes, Brian, now for, 22, 23 years. As a matter of fact, I think he's worked on you, myself, my wife, everybody in our family. The guy's incredible. Give him a call. Southern Orthopedics, go by and see him. He'll take care of you. Bay Point Golf, nobody does a better job than Ron Mulvey at Bay Point.
It's not even close.
It's not. You're right. And everybody knows that. Yep. He's a wonderful man. He'll be in here tomorrow. No, Friday, I hope. But anyway, if you love golf, get out to Bay Point. And also, Club 72 is a place to go now to have a great meal, to listen to great music, to have a ice cold beer or a Pepsi. I tell you, it's a place to go. Every Friday and Saturday night they're open. You don't have to fight those crowds anymore. Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. Ethan Boyd, he's talking about another guy. And, they've connected. They have gotten together. Yeah. And they have tournaments. And they get catered by Rudy's Barbecue because Ethan Boyd does such a great job there. Brand new facility, 350 seats. You love it. Matter of fact, my son wants to go there today. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. Go try it. You'll love it. We'll be right back. Hopefully, Dr. Ward, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has your chance to win tickets to Wrestling Against Cancer number 7. Each day this week, listen to the Coach James Hale Show in the morning from 7 to 9 and the afternoon underdogs from 4 to 6 to win your way into Wrestling Against Cancer number 7. This Saturday night, live professional wrestling at the Bay County Fairgrounds with ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh yeah, it's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Barbaritos has been committed to serving farm fresh food since February 20th, 2000. For starters, Barbaritos food is made with love, straight from the heart. Every morning we begin preparing our food from scratch, from chopping fresh tomatoes for sauces to mashing fresh avocados for guacamole. Barbaritos cares about food. From serving char-grilled grass-fed beef as well as hormone-free chicken breasts to the amazing tofu for our vegan friends. Farm fresh is more than just a motto. It's Barbaritos' mission.
Barbaritos. We make it fresh, you make it yours.
He's a 10-foot-tall, barrel-chested beast man who showers in vodka and feeds his baby shrimp scampi.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Please welcome.
Pain don't hurt.
Live and local from the J. Michaels studio, the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It is Wednesday. What's that mean? That means you get the legendary Dr. Ward. Doctor, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great on this beautiful Wednesday morning. How about you guys?
We are doing outstanding. We're still trying to get over all the things that are happening here locally. Coach Hudson has been let go at Mosley. He's going to finish the year out. He got a big win last night. We're still kind of frazzled by that. Does that shock you? I mean, you love baseball, football, basketball here in Bay County and the state of Florida. Was that a big shock to you?
I got to tell you, I felt so much pride for those boys last year winning that state title, and I was floored. Like, I mean, it was there was nothing more shocking than hearing he was being let go. I think someone needs to talk to the public to let the taxpayers and the parents hear what's going on. I'm hearing it may have something to do with a new AD that is there and wants people who he wants there and are his people. I have no clue. But you know, simply being, 11 and 10 or 11 and 11, losing 6 games by 1 run, playing the 5th hardest schedule in the state, after a state title. I mean, if there's no wrongdoing that we don't all know about, this needs answers.
Yeah.
And it's very shocking, very disturbing. I mean, someone's going to get a really good baseball coach.
No doubt about it. Now, I will say this, and that's what Brian and I were talking about earlier. You get all these rumors because they won't come out and make a statement. And I will say this right now, knowing Doug Lee, he is not the reason. That's just my opinion. He was not that. He didn't operate that way. He wants what's best for Mosley. I got a lot of respect for him. I do not believe that rumor, and there's a couple other nasty rumors out there I do not believe about this coach, Coach Hudson. I know he's a class act. We all don't know what happened, and I got to be honest. I got a lot of respect for the administration over there in A school. They're good at everything they do. They demand a lot. So we don't know. We just don't know.
But it's such a public thing, though, that it's one of those things. If this was a private school,
you're right,
or whatever, yeah, that's nobody's business. But this is a public institution. Obviously there's a lot of local interest because everyone's scratching their heads.
Yeah, it's a lot of talk about it.
And it's really not appropriate not to tell what went into the decision making. I mean, I think it's all different because this is a public school, and the quietness of it and the shock of it.
Right.
The public should be informed.
Well, and that's it. In the old days, you might get, when there was a vacuum like this, you get some whispers and stuff like that. But that was localized. In the day of social media, where this stuff can just spread so quickly and so much misinformation can get out so quickly, you can't make a decision like this and leave such a vacuum, because this fallout is so damaging to everybody involved, and it's unnecessary. Come out with what's going on and would deal with it like that. But you're right, Doc. This vacuum is just absurd.
Yeah. But hey, look, man, and you're right. You guys are 100% right. There may be a great logical explanation for what's going on. We just need to know.
Yeah, and we don't. I mean, we really don't. We were talking earlier too. It kind of goes. It throws at a different level. It kind of shows you what happened at Auburn. They had some boosters who wanted to get rid of him, and then you had all this nasty stuff that was said about him and a little girl that worked up there, and none of it was true. And yet you get on social media, you can see some nasty stuff being said, which is not true whatsoever. If somebody did something really terribly wrong, they'd be out of the position right now. They wouldn't wait to the end of the year. So I just don't like. That's like Brian pointed out, all the now you can get on there and crucify people on the internet, which you got freedom of speech, I guess. But that's. I just know I got a lot of respect for all those guys over there at Mosley. So I just don't know what's going on. That's just like you said, and you're like you said. Hey, people want to know. That's the talk of the town right now. You got a state championship coach let go, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
More to come. More to come.
Yeah. What? Hey, I've got. This is we got all this stuff coming out now. It's like crazy. You got USA Today, you got ESPN Computers, you got ESPN, you got CBS. They did all this football stuff pre-spring practice, now post-spring practice, all kind of stuff. We want your input on this, Doctor. You've done this once before, and you were outstanding at it, so we got to ask you again. Now, this is by, I want to say this one was by USA Today, I believe. I could be wrong on this one. They came out with it. They ranked the toughest schedules, and they ranked about what each team would do in 2022. Coming in at the toughest schedule in the SEC, which I do, it's crazy because it's not ESPN Computer, because they had Auburn as the toughest schedule in the country. This had to be the other one. All right, they got Vandy has ranked the #1 toughest schedule in the SEC. Now they might do their formula totally different because what Vandy has to play with. I don't know. But anyway, Vandy got the toughest ranked schedule in 2022, and their record will be, do you agree with this? And Brian's got their schedule if you want to ask any questions. They've got Vandy going 1-11. Do you see improvement, or do you see Vandy 1-11?
I'm going to level with you here. I don't even pay attention to Vanderbilt because, I mean, they're Vanderbilt.
I know.
So yeah, 1-11 sounds perfect.
Tell them who they played non-conference.
Well, somehow on here they've got 2 open weeks, so I'm not real sure about that. But
they might win those.
No, I think Vandy at one point this year is going to be 2-1, and then I think they're also going to be 2-10. They open with Elon, so you would hope that would be a win.
You would think that's a win.
And in week 3 they play.
I don't know. Elon just bought Twitter, so he's got a whole.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. At least we'll get some truth out. We can fight back now. That's good.
Yeah. Week 3 they've got NIU, which I'm either Northern Iowa or Northern Illinois. you would think that's it. Week 2 they have Wake Forest, so
Wake Forest is going to be pretty
that's
good.
probably going to be a loss. And their other non-conference isn't on here; it's shown as open. But I think the reason their schedule seems so hard, their 2 West crossovers this year are Alabama and Ole Miss.
Oh Lord! Yeah.
So that between that and having the East schedule,
I say they're wrong. I say at least 2 wins. I'm going to say they get 2 wins. All right, let's go to the next one. Missouri. Their schedule ranks 10th in the SEC. They have Missouri going 5-7. 5-7. Where does Florida play Missouri this year? Is it over there? Is it late in the year at
It's
Missouri?
at Florida.
Okay.
We play them at Florida. Yeah, they beat us in that overtime game in Columbia last year.
We have a hard time playing out there for some reason. You know, usually the weather's colder. All right, what do you think, Doc? Tell him who they played non-conference.
This is going to be funny for inside reasons. Week 3 they play Abilene.
That's a win.
Where I was a resident of for 16 hours recently. We'll get into that later. They're at MTSU.
Did you get her phone number?
We're at MTSU.
That's a win.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee State. At Kansas State. That's going to be a tough one. They're pretty good. Abilene at home, and then late in the year they play New Mexico State.
I think they're going to win at least 6. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, those sound like non-conference wins to me. So, and their coach is pretty good, and they've got decent talent. Missouri's hard to play at. I think they'll beat Vanderbilt as well. They'll probably beat one of the East teams that they're not supposed to beat at home too. I'd actually give them 7 wins.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Their West crossovers are Auburn and Arkansas.
Arkansas is tough, and Auburn, who knows? Yeah. Mississippi State, the Bulldogs. They've got their schedule ranks 5th, the 5th hardest. Their record, they have Mississippi State going 5-7. I don't who they got non-conference.
Non-conference, they got Memphis, who just owns Mississippi State for some reason to open. They're at Arizona, which they're not very good, but that's a trip out west. Got Bowling Green State and East Tennessee State.
And they play in the West.
Yeah, and their East crossovers are at Kentucky and then home against Georgia.
Good Lord. Yeah,
I think 5-7 is about right, honestly. Maybe 6-6.
I'm going to go 6-6. What do you think, Doc?
Oh, man, 5 wins would be pretty good with that schedule. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's going to be hard for them to get to 500.
All right, listen, we got a break. We're going to bring Doc back. We'll finish up with this and anything else Doc wants to talk about. Hey, Doc, we all know skin cancer could be deadly, and you want to jump on it quickly. What's the best way to get up with you? I know 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, we need to get up with Dr. Ward. How do we do that?
That's right. So just give us a call at 233-3276. You can see us at one of our 7 convenient area locations in Port St. Joe, Panama City Beach, Santa Rosa Beach, Bonnet Bay, Mariana, or Defuniak Springs. And that's right. And this is a really important thing. I'm hearing it's taking people a long time, over a month after they've been diagnosed, to get their cancer treated. We have a 2-week pledge. If you have a cancer diagnosis, we're going to have that cancer out in 2 weeks or less. We're the only dermatology practice in the Panhandle who can follow through on that pledge. So we'll get your cancer out faster than anybody else.
And I've been there twice for that, and he's telling you the truth. They do an incredible job there. They really and truly do. And on your way to Dr. Ward, you could probably stop at Blue Sky Express Car Wash and get your car washed. They do an incredible job there also. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Jason Kovalevsky. We'll be right back with Dr. Ward, 104.3 ESPN. Yeah, turn it up, baby. This is for Dr. Ward. Roll Tide.
ESPN Northwest Florida is your radio home for live and local sports coverage. For the most high school and college sports from right here in our local area, it's the Coach James Hale Show, weekday mornings 7 till 9. Then the ride home is alive and kicking with the afternoon underdogs, covering the gamut of sports. Plus, the radio home for the defending world champion Atlanta Braves. Your local sports station is ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm forecasting a nice day today. Mostly sunny skies and the low 80s. A northeast wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Mostly clear around 60 tonight, light north winds. High pressure building in for Thursday and Friday. More sunshine, a few scattered clouds. They'll be hovering around 80 degrees each afternoon Thursday and Friday. And we'll have southeast winds about 10-12 miles per hour each day. Showers and thunderstorms return for the weekend. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
In 22, the thing to do is reboot the whole family at That Boot Store. With name brand Western wear for the smallest to the largest Wrangler is available at That Boot Store. Need durable name brand Carhartt work clothes at a price you can afford? Stop by That Boot Store. Next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Remember Joe's motto, always keep Jesus in your new year.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh, so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick and all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
If aliens showed up tomorrow and said, take us to your leader, you'd bring them to the Coach James Hale Show.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Do it, James.
I don't care. He don't care.
Jay, how do you not love that guy? He doesn't care about your past. Now, I do. I'm the kind of guy that cares about the past. All right, Dr. Ward, let's get back to the SEC toughest schedules and their predictions. Now, South Carolina, their schedule ranks the fourth toughest in the SEC. They've got South Carolina going 6-6. Remember, they got Oklahoma's quarterback that seems to be doing pretty well to have a good spring game. Who are their non-conference games?
Looks like Georgia State, Charlotte, South Carolina State, but then at Clemson.
You got 3 wins there.
Should be.
And their crossover games?
Crossover games are at Arkansas and then at home against Texas A&M after the bye.
Ooh, good luck with 6. What do you think, Doc?
5. 5 wins.
5 wins. They've got them going 6-6. I'm going to say 6-6. Where you got them, Brian?
I'm with Doc. I think 5 wins.
5 wins. Okay, yeah. You guys win. All right, Auburn Tigers. Auburn's schedule, the toughest schedule in college football if you look at the ESPN computer. Well, this publication has Auburn playing the second toughest schedule in the SEC. They've got Auburn actually going 7-5. I know they got Penn State at home. Who are the other non-conference games?
Well, the first 3 games are non-conference. Mercer, San Jose State, and Penn State all at home. Auburn's first 5 games this year are at home.
They need to win them.
Yeah, and then late in the year, they've got Western Kentucky as their other. Their East crossovers are Georgia and Missouri, and they're at Georgia.
Where's the Missouri game?
Missouri's at home. So they open the season, Mercer, San Jose State, Penn State, Missouri, and LSU all at home.
What do you think, Doc? 7-5 or 5-7? Where do you got them?
I'm getting those steps. I like and then I like, a late out-of-conference game. And they usually pick up one that they shouldn't win. So I think 7-5 is gonna be right on.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Doc. I think 7-5.
I'm leaning more to 6-6 because I think once they start losing, the wheels are going to come off again. So I'll say 6.
Okay, we got 6-6. We go 7-5. Arkansas, I think they're going to be really good. Third hardest schedule in the SEC. Now, excuse me. They've got Arkansas going only 7-5, where a lot of people got them being really good this year. What do you guys think? Who do they got? I know they got Bama at home. What's their non-conference games?
Well, they open with Cincinnati.
That'll be tough.
And then they got Missouri State. They're at BYU at the end in October 15th before the bye week, so that's tough.
Yeah.
And then they've got Liberty at home. So yeah, their non-conference schedule's no joke.
Wow.
Their crossover games to the east are South Carolina and Missouri. So that part's not quite as bad.
You know what? I'm gonna go 8-4. I believe in him. I could be wrong. That's a tough schedule. What do you think, Doc?
So besides that hot receiver that they're going to lose this year, their starting quarterbacks back, their good, their running back. I just don't honestly. I don't know that much about who Arkansas is bringing back this year.
They got a 5-star transfer outside linebacker that's played as a freshman at Alabama,
and a receiver out of Oklahoma who was a 5-star.
Another
kid
5-star
too.
receiver.
They did well in the portal.
They sure did.
So they did well in the portal. Yeah. So I mean, if they don't have much of a drop off, their coaching is really good. I could see them going 8-4 with a schedule like that.
Because they love the coach. They play for him. They play hard. That's important. If they stay healthy, I can see them winning 8 games easy.
Yeah, I mean, they could go 10-2 with this schedule. I think 8 is safe because they have a lot of competitive games, and they'll probably drop one of those or 2 of those in a tough fashion. But
Bama better ready to play.
Do not be surprised if they go 10-2 with this schedule.
Yeah. I think a lot better than what they got. All right, the Florida Gators. They've got the 12th ranked schedule in the SEC. They only have the Florida Gators going 7-5. What is their non-con? I know Utah week 1.
Yeah,
We're hoping it's a day game and hot and humid and everything like that. But who else they got?
Utah week 1, South Florida on the 17th, so week 3, Eastern Washington, and then at FSU at the end of the year. So non-conference average. I mean, it's 2 good ones, two easy ones. Their West crossovers are at A&M and home against LSU.
Wow. They're going, ooh, that's ugly. I'm going to tell you right now, South Florida, this will be their Super Bowl. They'll play the best. This is the biggest game in their schedule. So that's going to be a tough game for Florida, even though Florida's got probably, we would hope, better talent. Doc, what do you think? Does Florida go 7-5 or better?
I don't think they're going to go better. I'd love to say they go better, but I think 7-5 would be a very good first season for Napier, and hopefully it's a 7-5 year where those 7 wins are solid wins, and maybe let me change it. I'll say 8-4 would be a solid. 7-5 would be expected. 8-4 would be a solid. Because for Napier to show Florida fans everything, he's got to take a game that he's not expected to win. So, whether that's going into A&M and surprising there, or going into Jacksonville surprising there, or maybe dominating Florida State, when he wasn't supposed to be good versus a close win. Who knows?
To me, the Tennessee game is going to decide whether they win 7 or 8. I think that's the one that's really up in the air. But that's the thing. Florida could go 7-5 this year, but start 1-3. I mean, 3 of their first 4 games are tough. Utah and Kentucky at home to start, and then week 4 at Knoxville.
They need to beat Utah. It's going to be tough. Utah's pretty good. All right, let's go Kentucky. They got the 13th ranked schedule in the SEC. They got them going 8-4. I'm good with that. What do you think? I don't care who they're a solid football team.
They're non-conference. They open with Miami of Ohio. They got Youngstown State. They got NIU. Again, Northern Iowa, Northern Illinois, I'm not sure. And then the last game of the year, home against Louisville. Their West crossovers are Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like Kentucky. I say at least
schedule
8.
lines up pretty good for them.
8 wins for sure. Doc, what do you think?
I give them maybe even 9 wins to that schedule. That sounds like one of the easiest schedules in the SEC.
Yeah, 13th ranked. Yeah,
and they go to Tennessee, which is a huge game for them after their bye week. So that's good for them
what do
too.
You got them 8 plus.
I would lean towards 9.
Okay.
Right now, based on this.
Good coach. LSU, they've got the 8th toughest schedule in the SEC. They've got them going 8-4. Now, they got FSU week 1. Who else they got?
It looks. I think it's Southern University week 2. They've got New Mexico and then UAB late on. So their non-conference schedule is not real tough outside of FSU. Their East crossovers, they've got Tennessee at home and they're at Florida.
That's tough, man. Tennessee's supposed to be great.
And their bye week is late, just like Alabama's. It's always before that Alabama game. So they have a lot of games before that bye week.
First-year coach. What do you got them? What do you got them, Doc? Where do you got them at? They got them going 8-4.
I'm going to give them 8 wins. I'm going to give them 8 wins.
Yeah, I am too. I'll go 8.
I'm not as high on them. I think 7 wins here.
I watched them last night in the spring game. It's spring game. It's a spring game. But I did thought they looked more disciplined. Ole Miss. Ole Miss Rebels.
0 wins. Oh, sorry.
They've got the ninth toughest schedule in the SEC. They got them going 9-3.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. They got Troy. I do not know who UCA is. At Georgia Tech and Tulsa. So all 4 of their non-conference games are the first 4 of the season. Their East crossovers are Kentucky at home and at Vanderbilt.
So they got a nice schedule.
Yeah.
What do you think, Doc? 9 plus or 9?
I give them 9 wins. 9 wins.
9
yep.
wins.
I think 9's right, and as I was mentioning to Coach in the break, the thing to watch out for, Ole Miss has the latest bye week of anyone, so it's going to be rough going into that. But they have their bye week, and after that, get Alabama at home. So watch out.
All right, Tennessee has got the 7th ranked schedule in the SEC. They got them going 9-3. Who's their non-conference?
They got Ball State at home. They're at Pittsburgh, who
Pittsburgh's not bad
yeah,
now.
gave them trouble last year. They've got Akron at home, and then UTM at home. I'm not sure. Tennessee Martin, I guess.
Yeah, that is.
And then their West crossovers are at LSU and Alabama.
Woo. What do you think, Doc? They got
5
them winning
wins.
9. How many?
5.
5? Ooh, okay. What do you think?
I'd say more like 7, but I don't know that they're going to be better than that.
I got them with 8. Texas A&M. They got the 6th toughest schedule in the country in the SEC. They got them going 10-2. We got to hurry.
Yeah.
What do you got? Non-conference.
Non-conference, Sam Houston State, App State, Miami, and UMass. So they got 2 tough ones there. Their crossovers are...
They got Miami at home, right?
Yes. Their crossovers are they're at South Carolina, and they got Florida at home. I mean, just playing the odds, I'm going to say 8-4 because they're always 8-4.
Yeah, I'm going to go under 10. What do you think, Doc? 10 or more?
I'm gonna give them 11 wins. I think Jimbo puts the team together, and they fall just short losing to Alabama.
All right, Alabama Crimson Tide. Their schedule's ranked 11th in the SEC. They got Bama going 12-0. They got Texas. They're at Texas week 2.
Yeah, Monroe, Utah State, and then I don't even know who APSU is.
They're really good.
Yeah. Alabama has 2 games they need to watch out for. At Tennessee on the 15th is a little bit of a trap game, and the at Ole Miss on November 12th because of the bye week. They need to watch out for those. But, yeah, looking at this, Alabama will actually at Arkansas October 1st up too, but Alabama definitely be favored in all 12 games. So.
You got Bama going undefeated, or do they lose 1 or 2?
I roll Tide. Next year is all about Alabama. I think they're number 1 start to finish, and unless some kind of upset happens, they're by far the best.
Yeah, if they can stay healthy, they're going to be good. All right, Georgia Bulldogs. They got the easiest schedule, the 14th easiest schedule in the SEC. They've got them going undefeated. Who's their non-conference?
Oregon, Samford, Kent State, and then Georgia Tech. And then their crossovers are Auburn and Mississippi State.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty good. I do think they'll lose a game, though. Doc, what do you got?
Yeah, they're going to drop one somewhere, so I give them 11 wins.
All right, hold your thoughts on that, Brian.
Sure.
Hey, Doc, anything else you want to get in today? Can you stay? You got to go.
I got to go. We will be missing Kirk Herbstreit at draft time.
Well, he should have got those damn shots. He
Kovaleski won't.
Yeah. He's got blood clots. The guy was healthy. He's got blood clots. Anyway, crazy.
I hope he files a workers' comp claim against Disney ABC.
All right, Doc. Hey, what's the best way to get up with you?
Give us a holler, 233-3376. One of our 7 convenient area locations. We can take care of you. And remember, if you've got skin cancer, we'll get it out in 2 weeks or less.
All right, Dr. Ward. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We'll be right back. Alabama on the board, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
ESPN's got the draft covered. They don't need our help. What we're going to mainly concentrate on are things that interest our audience. We have a couple of head coaches lined up that are going to be out there. We'll talk to a couple of draft analysts, as I'm sure you've come to expect. Beyond that, I think we have a couple of strippers coming by.
And there's nobody else in the business of any kind of radio doing what you're doing.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see him today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77, on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
Atlanta Braves play here. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The brand new Burger King at Weewa Hitchka is looking for managers and team members. You'll get to use your smile and personality and get paid for it. You'll be responsible for getting guests excited about their experience every day at Burger King. You'll get to work in a safe, productive environment that allows employees to thrive and advance with career opportunities. Burger King promotes from within. They offer training and development, flexible schedules, employee meal discounts, and scholarship opportunities. Burger King is an equal opportunity employer. Interested job seekers should text 007-8075 to 31063 to apply. Must be at least 16 years of age.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Road. I say Ala, you say Bama. Stevenson Air Conditioning. That's what you say. You say Steven. You say Jason. I say Steven. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Not even close. Give Debbie a call if you have any kind of problems. I don't care what time, day or night. They'll get out there. They'll solve all the issues that you have. You get it serviced. The heat's on its way. It's going to save you money. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Alabama update. Feinbaum ran his mouth a little bit yesterday or the day
That's
before,
shocking.
talking about who could replace Nick Saban. You remember Coach Bryant retired, then it was dead within a month, and Alabama went for like 20, seemed like forever till they got Stallings there. And once he got there, things got rolling pretty good and wins the national championship. And then we had to wait to Nick Saban to take over in 2007 to get Tide rolling again. So it seemed like it's 25 years for the glory days. But Bear Bryant was hard to follow, and I think it's going to be the same thing with Nick Saban, especially when you consider Oklahoma and Texas coming in. And they go to those pod systems where you got an unbelievable, terrible, tough schedule every year. It's going to be hard to any team in the SEC to go undefeated like you're seeing now with Alabama and Georgia, even with one loss when you play such good competition. So I'm hoping. I'm just being real careful for the Crimson Tide, and I'd like to see them just keep it like it is. Add one team to the West, one team to the East. But I think because of TV is going to push it, you're going to see the pod deals because people want to see those big time games every weekend. Right. It's going to be tough on coaches. So it's going to be a hard time to someone to come in here and last 15, 16, 17 years, however long Saban stays. But his first name he brought up, I don't know if it was on a show or some radio show in Birmingham. First name he brought up was Dabo Swinney. And, of course, back 4 or 5 years ago, there was a lot of talk about him, and he used that talk to get a big raise at Clemson. I don't think Dabo will follow Nick Saban. I think that would be foolish. He is more or less like a Bear Bryant at Clemson. Why follow Nick Saban and go through that headaches? Do you, in your opinion, Brian, and you've lived in that state, you know how much pressure it is at both those schools to win big. Would you leave Clemson, where you are the king, to go and try to outdo Bear Bryant and Nick Saban? What do you think?
I certainly wouldn't write. Like, if it came up now, no. Dabo's got a great thing going on. He's still the man at Clemson. He's built that himself. It's his. So I don't see that. Now, if it's 4 or 5 years down the road, things have maybe slid a little bit. Clemson starts getting a little antsy and this, that, and the other.
Alabama's losing.
Yeah, maybe. But no, in the current circumstance, I don't see any way Dabo would leave.
I think you knocked out the ballpark. The only way he goes back, then the guy that replaces Saban struggles big time.
Yeah.
He comes and saves the ship. That'd be the and probably about $12 million a year.
Yeah.
So
It's the Ron Zook experiment. No one wants to be the guy who follows the guy.
There you go.
You want to follow that guy.
I got you. Now, he did say, and I do agree with this, there's still, he was talking too, and it's the situation he was running his mouth about. There were a lot of big-time boosters that he was with during this conversation. And the big-time boosters and the average fan, I do believe, I'm one of them, that love Kirby Smart at Georgia. But those boosters got to realize Kirby Smart played at Georgia. This is his job, and he has won a national championship. He might be the guy. He's a young guy. He might break all these records that Saban's been doing. It's going to be tough to do that, but who knows? He might be. I don't see Kirby coming back to Alabama unless he's upset somebody over in Athens or somebody's upset him over there. I'm like you, though. He will not be the guy to follow Nick Saban. The only way he would do it would be like if Georgia, something happened there, and they've already had another coach who's been there, maybe the second guy after Nick. That's the only way I can see it. I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't think so either. Again, that's his job. Yeah. And he's won a national championship there. He's set down roots there.
He's Kirby Smart.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't either. Well, now let's get some other names he talked about.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of this one I don't know. I doubt it. Billy Napier played for him. Coached with him at Alabama. They won a championship there. He goes to Clemson. He works with Dabo. Now he's worked his way up. He's at Florida. Would he take? I think the guy's too smart to follow Saban. Does he take the guy after this? I don't know. Will Florida pay him the type of money Alabama would pay him if Alabama decides they want him? He's young. He is a great recruiter. He's got a great record. If I'm winning at Florida, I'm not going to leave Florida and go to Alabama and have to deal with that.
I'm not. I may fall the other way. I think if he gets a little success at Florida, he could own the West. He's still got Georgia in the East. If he gets a little success going, gets them winning 9-10 games, a couple times, and this Alabama thing comes open, his confidence in himself leads me to believe he actually may take that Alabama job if it were offered.
Okay. Do you think if Florida's happy with him, and if they'd have to be happy with him if Alabama wanted him? Do you think Florida would put up the type of money to keep him at Florida?
Oh, I don't think the money would be the issue there. I think it would be, like I said, owning the West and just, having that one extra step closer. And it's not a knock on Florida, but it's just one extra step closer to the big time.
Well, one thing about Florida, you got Florida State, you got Miami, you got Central Florida, you got South, you got all these other schools,
right?
And you are really, they probably the richest school in the state of Florida is the Gators. But at Alabama, you don't have to beg for anything.
Sure.
When you're the head football coach at Alabama, you're more or less like the AD. If you want a new build, it's going to get built. Whatever you want. There's no budget for football. Whatever you need, you will get. That might be the little difference between Alabama and Florida, if there's any at all. But Spurrier had that thing going pretty doggone good. The other guy that the name was kind of brought up was Bill O'Brien. Brian, there might be where they might be guys out there going, I don't want to follow Saban. And I always kind of thought it would be Stark. And I got a couple other names here. But what about Bill O'Brien?
Bill O'Brien, actually, Sarkisian was one I had in mind if he turned Texas around. Right. Although,
I had him in mind. I had him if he just stayed at Alabama. I thought he would get it.
O'Brien, I don't know. I still view O'Brien as an NFL guy.
He's been a head coach
so I
there.
think he will go back at some point. I just don't think things lined up for him with the jobs that came open this time. He may have been judicious about maybe not wanting to go to certain places like Jacksonville or something like that. So He's interesting. Could he do it? Yes. Could he handle the pressure? Yes. I don't know if that's what he wants to do, though.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, another name was Miami's Mario Cristobal. He worked at Alabama for Nick Saban. He is really liked by a lot of people at the University of Alabama, well thought of. He would definitely get a phone call. His job, he played at Miami.
Yeah.
He played there. But, Brian, I don't care if they win big or not. They're still not going to get the type of turnouts to go to the games like you do at Alabama. What do you think?
He's the one I always said was not only the one I thought most likely, but was my pick to replace Nick Saban until he went to Miami because there's family down there, and I know some of his family's getting advanced in age, this, that, or the other. There may be personal reasons that keep him in Miami from maybe, if there weren't those, he might consider Alabama. I would be surprised at this point if he left Miami, unless Miami wasn't doing well. And if they weren't doing well, I'm not sure he'd be on Alabama's radar.
And they're paying him well right now.
Before Miami, I would have said Cristobal is the leader.
Yeah. I'm like you. I go back and forth on this one. At Miami, yes, you can win big there. It's ACC, a lot easier than the SEC. But facility-wise, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not sure.
But again, if you're looking at it purely as a football decision, absolutely. But I think there are enough other factors for Cristobal right now that I don't think he would leave.
All right, the other name, this was when he took the Tennessee job, I always kind of thought he'd have a shot at this one. But when he took the Tennessee job, some of the old Bama people did not like anything to do with Tennessee, and I don't think that would have hurt him. But he needed to win there, and that was Jeremy Pruitt. Now that the McDonald's bag thing happened, he's down in the NFL. I think he'd have to go be a head coach somewhere else and work his way back up. But that was one other name that, and people do. I like Jeremy. I think he's a great coach. I love Jeremy Pruitt. But I just don't see that happening now.
Jeremy's, whether fairly or unfairly, he's got a reputation of not being able to work with administration, and that was really bad at Tennessee, and that will, above maybe a few other things, that'll keep him from ever getting the Alabama job. So.
Yeah. The other name, which I would not mind seeing this happen, and he's got the ego to do it, and that's Lane over at Ole Miss Kiffin. The guy offensively is incredible. Believe it or not, there's people. I know you got to put up with a lot of crap. Do you want to win? I don't know. What do you think about that one?
I would love it. I think he would be great. I don't think he gets enough credit for the wholesale philosophical shift at the University of Alabama. What he did was the most integral part of the. I mean, it's still Saban, but of the Saban years, he was the biggest hire. I think he'd actually be great in that limelight. I think Alabama'd love it. I just don't think it'll ever happen.
And I think he'd keep winning. We'll talk more about this when we get back. We had a little bit of Auburn, and when we get back, we'll finish up with this. All right, let's talk about some of our great people like Stevenson Air Conditioning. I tell you, I say it all the time. It's the only thing you pay that pays for itself. Why? You say that, but why? Because you save so much money every single month on your electricity bill, and all that savings adds up to what you paid for the unit. They do a great job at Stevenson Air Conditioning. Try them. You'll absolutely love them. I'll tell you that right now. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. The best pizza, bakery, and deli. 3 restaurants in one on Thomas Drive. Try it. You'll love it. I'm telling you right now. We talked about it a minute ago. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to get bigger, stronger, faster, quicker? The guy can help you in all kind of ways. He's really sharp. Former athlete. Still an athlete. Looks like a bodybuilder right now. That's Jason Kovaleski. Of course, I'm training him, so that's the reason he looks so good. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. We'll be right back. War Damn Eagle, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Thinking that you were just giving up on the Falcons.
When you've been through the pain of 28-3, you've been through the pain of going to the Super Bowl and your defensive star gets arrested the night before the game. I mean, there's just so many circumstances where it's just painful to be a fan.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm forecasting mostly sunny skies today. High pressure building in behind that weather front. It'll be warm, temperatures around 80 or so. a northeast wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Water temperature in the Gulf is 74. Mostly clear with an air temperature overnight around 60, light winds overnight, near 80 Thursday, mostly sunny skies. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
Have you been to Gin Gin Super King Buffet? It's not your average Gin Gin. Well, here's what you're missing. Gin Gin Super King Buffet has competitive pricing, a great selection, extensive buffet options perfect for family dining. Menu options also include top quality seafood, hibachi and sushi bar, or select their mouth-watering crab legs by order. Bring the family out to Gin Gin Super King Buffet, located next to Wonderworks at 9802 Front Beach Road on Panama City Beach.
The Atlanta Braves are back on the field, and this reloaded roster is fired up to defend their crown and run it back in 2022.
1-2 coming, crushed, left field, auto line, that ball is out of here. 2-run home run for Austin Riley.
Tonight, it's Atlanta Braves baseball live from Truist Park in Atlanta as Dansby Swanson and the Braves take on Jason Hayward and the Chicago Cubs.
Braves, Cubs tonight. Coverage starts at 6 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle! Hey, Martha, Kitty, James Walmart. I saw James yesterday at Bay Point Drive. He's right around a beautiful week. What a wonderful man. His daughters, most of his kids went to, the oldest one went to Bay, and all the younger ones went to Arnold. They all cheered for my wife at Arnold High School. Wonderful girl, wonderful family. Jenna works at the school board, and they love the Auburn Tigers.
Did he pull over to hit that puddle to try and splash you?
No, he was really nice. We hadn't seen each other.
That's what I told him to do.
Thank you. We had a good time talking. Really good time. We talk about Auburn and everything like that and everything that's going on. He goes to church there with Jeremy Pridgett, church, excuse me. But I'm going to get back to, before we get into Auburn, I do want to finish that. I just one name I want to give you guys that people are going to say, no way. But I would. The question, if you're Alabama booster or a big money guy at Bama, do you want to continue to win? Do you want to get somebody that's done it that can keep Nick's winning habits going? And there's only one guy I think, maybe not, but this guy I think could do it. He's one of the few I think that keep him winning, and that's Urban Meyer. He did it at Ohio State. He did it at Florida. Wherever the guy's been, he's won except for the NFL. Yeah, the NFL was a bust, but so was Spurrier, so was Saban's. I mean, the NFL's a tough deal. I know there's a lot of things negative. I know about the bar deal, what he did in the NFL. I get all that. The situation I had up at Ohio State, I get it. But the guy can recruit. He's a workaholic. Him and Nick are a lot of ways. They're like the same type people.
This one would split the boosters a little bit. There'd be a lot of contention around this one, but I think he would absolutely be offered the job.
I think he would do well. I really do. I'm telling you right now, if it's me and I had the call, it'd be him.
But it would not be a smooth ride.
No. But let me ask you, has he gotten – I don't think you could say something, well, we need somebody younger. He's not going to be there that long. Hell, Saban's 70-something years old. Would you say he's too old? I
don't think he's too old, but when Urban was younger, he didn't necessarily stay places all that long.
Health and stuff,
Well, but he does that to himself. He runs himself ragged. But if you're looking for a guy to give you 4 or 5 years, there's no better resume out there.
You know what he needs to do? Urban, listen to me, man. This is what you got to do. You got to get yourself down here. Get up with Ryan Moby. Go play some golf at Bay Point, man. You do that, you're in great shape. Your stress level drops. Then after that, you and your wife, not that other blonde we saw in the picture, but you and your wife hang out at Club 72, Let her dance up against you, and y'all have a great time. If he'll do that, he'll live a long time.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, get out to Bay Point. Appreciate Ryan Movie, Mr. Warren, all you wonderful people out there, and we appreciate the Auburn update.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look into Auburn. We all know the draft is coming tomorrow. What's going to happen in the NFL draft? We don't know. Oh, did you see that? I wanted to ask you, because you weren't here yesterday. Harsin did a pretty good job driving that Mustang around the track.
Yeah, I heard he's got, like, racing in his background.
Yeah. Andy Bertram was on yesterday, talked about his dad and everything, but it was him, his wife, and I want to say it was his son. I think it was his son. But anyway, they were there, and they did a practice lap, and I tell you what, that's a good-looking family, good people.
Was this at Talladega?
Yeah.
If you've ever been there,
that would be scary.
The banking of that you have to be going like 75, 80 miles an hour. You'll slide. If you drive up to it from the infield, it looks like a wall. It's amazing.
That is crazy. I've never seen it. Jamie told me that. She wouldn't cover it.
Yeah.
I do want to go there. How much are tickets to get in that thing?
I don't know.
But anyway, Coach did a good job doing that. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm glad they offered that to him and gave him an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
They have done it to save him. That's kind of an honorary thing to do.
Yeah.
So, goodness, I'm glad he got the opportunity. All right, Auburn, what's going to happen in the draft tonight? I don't think you're going to see anybody from the offense side of the ball to go in the draft. I don't know when's the last time that's happened for Auburn. But they're definitely not. I don't think they have any prospects on the offense side of the ball, and that kind of tells you the problem they had last year. Now, Tank Bigsby, he's not eligible to go to the draft. He's got another year at Auburn. Now, when he comes out, I guarantee you he will get drafted. I guarantee that right now. He's just got to stay healthy. Roger McCreary will probably be the first guy taken. I'm sure he's going to be the first guy taken from Auburn. The cornerback is a really great football player. Smoke Monday, we all know how great safety is. He'll definitely go. And McLean, the linebacker, that's who you got. That's Auburn right there. That's the guys that are going to be going. Yeah. And it's kind of weird. Again,
McCreary's a day 2 guy for sure. It's Monday and McLean maybe sneak in on day 2. They may drop to maybe more 4th, 5th round. But
yeah, a lot of it. I think most of them had a second round grade. McCreary, they got him going 36 overall.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Now I'll tell you another thing too. That we're talking about offense. They made a mistake. I love Bo Nix. I was a Bo Nix fan. A lot of Auburn people weren't. Malik Willis, he could have maybe been the quarterback. Who knows?
It's hard to say. I mean,
was
Malik,
he at Liberty?
Yeah, Malik Willis may have become Malik Willis because he hooked up with Hugh Freeze. So it's hard to say that they would have been the exact same person.
Coaching matters.
Yeah.
Coaching matters.
Well, just a different circumstance.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, he's going to be drafted, so you could say Auburn still has a guy offense side of the ball getting drafted. He'll probably go in the first round.
Yeah.
It's a weak round, I think, for quarterbacks this year, just my opinion.
Yes.
McCreary's 36 overall, second round grade, safety, second round grade also, Smoke Monday. They've got him going 91st overall pick, okay? And you know what? He might have had, I think that's right. Yeah, and McLean was a third round grade. And that just gives everybody, what do? They come in, and this is what everybody all the experts kind of think.
Well, yeah. Typically, you'd fall here. However, based on club's needs in front of you, they may
go up or
project
go
you.
down.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, they got Monday, which I think is a great football player. They got him overall 91st pick in the draft. McLean, the linebacker, they got him going at the 150 pick of the draft. He's a really good football player. Fourth round grade, former. Whatever. And then we already talked about the quarterback. They think, again, he will be the 23rd pick overall. McCreary is the number 7 corner, the number 7 corner in the nation coming out, so he'll definitely go. And it depends on, like you said, what the needs of the other teams are.
Well, and people always overdraft quarterbacks, so the trades are going to be the story, I think, of this year's draft, and how those shakeouts going to determine where a guy like Roger McCreary falls. But, yeah, I think early to mid-second round's probably about right for him. Mobile guy, by the way.
Good. Smoke Monday now is the 9th best safety coming out in the draft this year by the experts. I think he's a really good football player. And McLean was the 13th best linebacker. And they had the quarterback, the former Auburn quarterback, number 1 quarterback. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I've seen 4 different quarterbacks go as a first. Like, this is a weird quarterback draft. I mean, there's really not a lot known with these quarterbacks. Who's going to go first? Who's going to go fourth? bottom line, whichever one gets in the right system for them is going to do the best in the NFL.
Absolutely. I'm not that excited about this year's draft. I don't know why. I just, to me, it's not that great of a class. I could be wrong. It's going to be, to me, it's going to be Georgia and everybody else. I think their defense has a chance to get at least 4, maybe 5 guys drafted. Hell, maybe in the first round. Georgia's got some good-looking kids on that side of the ball. I got some other things too. I'll try to get into it tomorrow.
It's great
about
athletes.
Georgia, about what Kirby has done in the last 4 years, getting first-round draft picks. I mean, I think it's better than what Nick's done. I know in the history of Georgia, they've had 39 first-round draft picks. Since 2010, Nick Saban's had 39 just from Alabama. It's incredible. But anyway, we'll watch the draft, report on that on Friday. Tomorrow, Jeremy Pritchard here talking about Alabama. We'll get in the draft somewhat tomorrow. But hey, real quick, if you wouldn't mind, just go over Auburn's schedule one more time. They have the number one publication has the number 2 toughest schedule in the country. ESPN's computer has Auburn the toughest schedule in the country. So go over it home and away and see what you think.
So like we said, Auburn opens with 5 home games. I mean, that's good. They open with Mercer, then San Jose State, then Penn State, which is going to be a key game to set up momentum. If they can win that game, they're in pretty good shape. Then Missouri at home, and then LSU at home. Then it starts getting a little tougher. The next week, they go to Georgia. Then they go to Ole Miss. Then they have their bye week. Then you come out of the bye, you got Arkansas at home. You're at Mississippi State. You got A&M at home. Then you got Western Kentucky, and then you're on the road at Alabama. So that kind of 3 games in and 3 games out of the break are the keys. LSU at Georgia at Ole Miss, then the break. Arkansas at Mississippi State and A&M. If you could take half of those, you're in a good position.
And everything's going on with Auburn. That's a tough.
Right.
That's a
but
tough deal.
Again, I hate to say this because I like Harsin.
I do
actually
too.
wish.
I do too.
I wish he would pull what Tuberville did, after the Bobby Petrino deal. But
I like it.
This schedule is rough.
They should leave him alone.
And I just think as soon as they lose one game, it's going to stir up enough that it's all going to come back. And nowadays with social media and all, the players are reading all this junk that's going on. They're worried. Is their coach going to be around? They're not focused. I think it spins out of control at some point.
I think you got something there. You got one columnist in Alabama that's been after him day one. That was over the COVID-19 deal.
Right.
And he hadn't let up since then. You got the 2 powerhouse money guys that want him gone.
Right.
It's going to be tough for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. I was talking to James Gualmar about that yesterday. He feels like it's going to be a tough year for him also. But hopefully we're all pulling for him and hoping Auburn can have a great year. Let's talk about some of our great people. We got so many of them. It's crazy, man. Buffalo Rock, wonderful job they do there. We've already talked about Chuck Tucker. If you're going to go to closing, make sure you demand. We want South Oak title and closing. We want Chuck Tucker. We're not going to do it. Dr. Chad Mitchell, a legendary doctor, 22 years on Bay County sidelines. You don't have to be a star athlete to go see Chad Mitchell. Give him a call, Southern Orthopedics, make an appointment, and go by and he'll take care of you. Bay Point Golf, we want to thank Ryan Moby for the Auburn update. They do such a wonderful job. Now, Club 72 is open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You don't have to wait in these long lines to go. Like this summer, we're going to be going to Club 72 quite a bit. James Gualmar and Jenna, they go there. They love it. Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road, the best barbecue you'll get anywhere. And the turkey ain't bad either. We'll be right back. 104, hopefully Mark McLeod, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back.
Swing and a drive. That's hammered deep right. He jumped on one and hits a homer.
We're your exclusive radio home for the Atlanta Braves.
At the wall. It is gone. A grand slam for Acuna.
Hear every exciting home run, every strikeout, and every thrilling victory on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
When you got 90,000 people all chomping at the same time.
Go, Gators!
It's the Florida Gator Update with guest Mark McLeod. Insider information you can't get anywhere else. Sponsored by Sykes Concrete, serving Bay County since 1957. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Gators! It is Wednesday. It's 8:30. We all know what happens on Wednesday at 8:30. You're going to be listening because we got the man, the myth, the one and only, Mark McLeod, the Mosley Flash. Mark, I don't know. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing well, Coach. Good morning.
I missed you. I didn't get to talk to you last week. I didn't have an opportunity to ask you. How was your Easter? Did you have a great Easter?
We did have a great Easter. Our not-so-adopted daughter, Sophie, got baptized and joined the church, and we were all thrilled for her. Went out, had big steaks that night, and it was a great Easter.
Well, great, man. I missed not talking to you last week. I want to know if you've heard about this. You're a Mosley graduate. We all know they won the state championship last year in baseball. Their baseball coach, Hudson, was the Farmers coach of the state coach of the year in the state of Florida. Did you hear that he's been let go?
I did. Actually, I was where was I? I was doing radio. I was about to jump on the air, and a buddy of mine from over in Chipola, who's a big baseball guy, Brian Milton, he texted me and he said, "Mark, look what's happening." And I didn't get a chance to really see it at that time, but yeah, I saw that. That was surprising, especially thus far. No reason has been indicated that I've seen, and granted, I haven't really looked into it, but interesting.
No, nothing. And everybody's question is the talk of the town, the county. Everybody's wanting to know what's going on. We got a special guest in here this morning. Let's say hi to you, Michigan Eddie. You can tell what his school is, Michigan Eddie. Michigan, say hello to Mark McLeod.
Hello, Mr. McLeod. Nice to talk to you. And also, my other school's Air Force, by the way. So Air is rare, go blue. And it's crickets about the Mosley baseball coach being fired right after a state championship. Yeah. It's just something doesn't feel right. Doesn't smell right, feel right about this deal. And everyone's being quiet about it,
Yeah, I think when you do that, something like that happens, the administration, someone from the administration has to step forward and look, you owe it to the parents, you owe it to the kids, you owe it to the parents to give an explanation why. And if that's not being done, then that's a disservice to your community. It really is. Are you wearing your Aiden Hutchinson jersey?
I don't know. I just pray he doesn't go with the Lions. I've been a Lions fan for 46 years. One playoff win in those years, and I want to see Aiden and David Ajabo and all the Michigan and have a great career and not go to the Lions. But Dan Campbell and DC, we trust. Hopefully he can bite more than just kneecaps this year, and whoever we get, hopefully it's a plus, and hopefully they'll change things around. But as my dad always said, as long as the Ford family owns the Lions, they ain't gonna amount to nothing. and that's true. God rest his soul. But I have one question to ask you, Mr. McLeod, if I could. Is the Gators, are they going to have youth football camps for kids not in high school age, like for junior high and below this summer?
Yes, yeah, you better believe they'll do that. Yeah, I'm not sure the dates on that. I guarantee you they're making a pass. I know there a lot of recruiting was in Jacksonville on Monday. They've got guys all over Tampa and Clearwater today. They're really branching out. So I'm sure they'll be, if they're not already in the Panhandle, they will be. And I'm sure the coaches will have that information. That's for sure.
Well, Mark, I don't know. We're going to be talking powerhouse SEC football, baseball. The Michigan people probably be quiet right now because they're not very good at much. But I'm sorry, Mr. Yeti. That was a low blow. I apologize to you. You got a great team. Y'all have a great football team.
Hockey,
Is that the way you treat our guests?
Just Michigan Eddie. I only treat Michigan Eddie that way.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, Mark, let's get into SEC baseball, the Gators. Brian, what were you going to ask?
Yeah, Mark, I mean, obviously brutal news on Hunter Barco. Said they were indefinitely shutting him down. Have you heard any updates to that? Because, I mean, he's obviously a critical piece of Florida going forward.
No, the only thing I had heard was that, there was swelling there and they needed that swelling to try and go down. But I have not heard an update yet. So we're going to wait on that news to see what happens. Hopefully it's something that he'll be able to sit down, rest a few weeks, and then come back from. But it sure doesn't sound good.
Right.
The initial take was, good Lord, it could be Tommy John again, and we'll see what happens.
Wow, that's terrible. Baseball team, SEC right now, as of last night, well, when I wrote this stuff down, they were 12. They were 6-12. Overall,
they still are.
Overall, 23-17. Home 15-9. On the road 7-8. Is Tennessee as good as advertised? I mean, Florida had a rough go with the Vols.
They are. They really are. And here's the thing about Tennessee. It was a weird series in Gainesville because Tony couldn't go. He couldn't co-coach his own team because of the bump with the umpire in I believe it was a Georgia series for them, if I'm not mistaken, with Tennessee. If you saw Tony Vitale, he bumped that umpire pretty hard.
Yeah, he did.
And the SEC, NCAA, nope, you're not doing that. You're shut down for 4 games. Now, he may have been in Gainesville, but I guarantee you no one from the University of Florida let him in on that campus. Knowingly, that's for sure. So he probably stayed in Knoxville. You had that going on. You had Barco shut down. You had a lot of chippiness between the players here and there. You had an incident on Sunday where the Tennessee players go and shower at the football stadium and found some football helmets and put them on and took pictures of it and everything and cited everybody on both sides. So yeah, but I'm telling you, Tennessee top to bottom, when you look at their pitching, they're very good. They're outstanding. Not very good. They're outstanding. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, you're talking about a team that has an ERA of 2.03 in conference play. The next team is Arkansas, 3.49. I mean, and Tennessee pitching has struck out more batters than anybody in the SEC, 185, and that's SEC play alone. Hitting, they're a good hitting team, good to very good or great. And then defensively, they've got a little work to do defensively. But I think, Coach, that is a team that when you look at their entire makeup, I never thought I'd say this, but, I go back 3 years ago or so, maybe a little longer than that, with the discussion I had with Kevin O'Sullivan about the SEC, and we sat there and talked about it. And he said, I'm telling you, Mark, I think Georgia's on the right track. They can do some things, but they're going to have to do a better job recruiting, get some guys in. He said, but look out for Tennessee. He goes, I think they've got the right guy. I think they've got the right, and he told me that. So, and look, that team, when you watch that team, Coach, that is a team that can win it all.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they are. What do you think this Kentucky? I think we can beat Kentucky, SEC 6-12, overall 22-18. At home, 17-9, but on the road, they're 5-9. What do you think this week, Florida, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Look, I have no idea what's going on with Florida. I mean, Florida loses a series to Georgia, gets swept, There was one game there where they really looked like they were going to take it and couldn't. They come back and, they take the next series over Arkansas, a very good Arkansas team. They take that series. Vanderbilt series, Florida was in it every game. They, and just, and then they come back against Tennessee and they just didn't look good at all. And look, you want to know Florida baseball? Here's the problem with Florida baseball. When conference play began, Florida has really just hit the skids. Florida's hitting .232 in conference play. That's next to last. In ERA pitching, Florida's 6.58 in conference play. That's among the worst in the SEC. Only Missouri and Georgia are worse. And defense, which Florida, early in the year, the first 15, 20 games, I guess, of the season, Florida was right there in the top 4 defensively in the nation. And right now, in conference play, they're .971 fielding. That's what, 9th or 10th in conference? No, I guess that's 9th in conference play. I mean, that's crazy. This team is just not doing well right now. They're not in a good place. I think Kevin O'Sullivan is obviously very frustrated. All the media boys have picked that up. Everybody's picked that up. The players are frustrated. It is not a good time for Florida baseball, and I'm telling you, this is back-to-back years now, and they're just, they're just a lot of unanswered questions for Florida.
You want to ask something, Michigan?
Yeah, I was just wondering. I'm looking at the standings right now, and I was watching the Tennessee Vandy series when they played at Hawkins Field a couple weeks ago. Do you think there might be a change in the guard going on in SEC baseball where the powerhouses like Vandy, Florida, LSU, and all that, and then it might be Tennessee and some not baseball powers, if you will, coming and taking the lead in the divisions? It seems like there's a change in the guard going on there in SEC baseball.
Well, there is across the whole conference. I mean, in the West, LSU is usually the team to beat. Arkansas, LSU, Arkansas, and then the Mississippi teams are awfully good. Well, right now you've got Ole Miss and Mississippi State dragging the rear, and then you've got LSU, who's probably middle of the pack, probably, but really has a reality. I mean, they're only 2 games back of Arkansas. Texas A&M was for the last couple of years. You look at that stadium, you look at the talent in Texas, that should be a much better team, and they're not. And then in the East, as you said, Tennessee, and then there's Georgia. You got to be kidding me. And where's Vanderbilt and Florida? They're behind them. Kentucky's been a good baseball program. South Carolina, years ago, was a outstanding baseball program in the East. So it's been a tough time.
Well, we all know the new powerhouse in the South is Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, the 4th-ranked team in the country. Destroyed Alabama, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss. Tennessee won't even schedule us. It's incredible.
Hey, it's just going to make the fall that much more spectacular.
Anyway.
Well, they'll have to do it in Omaha.
There you go. Well, Mark, don't hang up. We're going to hold Mark over and talk more about the game. We got the draft tomorrow night. How many Gators will go? What's going on with Gator football? We'll be right back with Mark. But right now, let's talk about some of our wonderful people. I tell you, we do have some great people. Blue Sky Express Car Wash on Back Beach Road. We had Dr. Ward on earlier. He does a great job. 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, go see Dr. Ward. Do not put it off. Buffalo Rock, wonderful company. They've taken care of Bay County schools forever. Support them. Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, you name it. We'll be right back with Mark McLeod, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Go Gators!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents Wrestling Against Cancer number 7. In the main event, Chief Little Bear versus Cali Man. Plus, exciting women's wrestling with Avery Bro versus Quadzilla TKs. This Saturday night at the Bay County Fairgrounds. Doors open at 5:30, bell time 6:30. Tickets $12. Ages 6 to 10 only $10. 5 and under free. Proceeds benefit Mosley High School student Kendall Susie.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm forecasting a nice day today. Mostly sunny skies in the low 80s. A northeast wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Mostly clear around 60 tonight. Light north winds. High pressure building in for Thursday and Friday. More sunshine, a few scattered clouds. It'll be hovering around 80 degrees each afternoon Thursday and Friday. And we'll have southeast winds about 10-12 miles per hour each day. Showers and thunderstorms return for the weekend. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh, yeah. It's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. This is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Thursday afternoon at 5:15 during the Afternoon Underdogs and Friday mornings during the 6 a.m. hour. It's accurate, concise content from local anglers right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Wednesday. It's Mark McLeod. Everything you want to know about the Florida Gators. Mark Feinbaum did something yesterday. They were talking about who's going to replace Nick Saban when he leaves, and one name was mentioned, Billy Napier. Saban does love him. He did a great job when he was there before. He was OC at Clemson for Dabo. If he's winning, and the only way Alabama fans and boosters would want him if he's winning big at Florida. If he's winning big at Florida, would you leave, if you're Billy Napier, would you leave the Florida Gators to go to the University of Alabama and have to deal with replacing Nick Saban, or would you stay with the Florida Gators? I know it's a crazy question, but I want your input on that. What would you do if you're Billy Napier?
There's no way. If you're making progress at Florida, there's no way I pick up my bags and go to try to follow Nick Saban. That's insanity. You look at the guys that replaced Bear Bryant. I mean, finally, that was tough. That was tough watching Bama football a little bit through that era. And, the same thing with Steve Spurrier. You bring Ron Zook in, and Zook didn't have a prayer. And, it's difficult to follow a legend like that. It really is. So I don't know. I wouldn't do it. If you're starting to make headway, just keep making headway. And with Nick Saban out of the way, you got to figure it's going to be a little easier.
and you think too now that if he's winning at Florida, Florida's going to pay him, and Florida's got the brand new football facility. And I think people forget how rough it can be at Alabama. Everybody was giving Auburn fans a hard time, whatever happened this past year with Harsin. You go to Alabama and you lose, especially after what Saban's done. It's a hard place to coach. You better win, and you better win every game.
Yeah. I mean, look, Florida's doing pretty well. They've got, they just got a lot of money from a Florida booster in Valdosta, Georgia, who graduated from Florida, been a Gator. He donated, $12.5 million. Wow. And the Gator Collective is doing very well. Billy Napier's been all on board. Okay, look, if this is how the game's going to be played, let's play it. And he's been going to Gator Club meetings in Jacksonville, Tampa, and what have you, and pumping everybody up and saying, let's contribute, let's get it. And they want to play NIL this way, then we're going to have to do it. So I hate it. I know you hate it. We all hate it. This is not what it should be, but the NCAA, once again, has sat on their hands, and now, they keep saying they're going to do something about it. We'll see. But
what, Mark?
Yeah, it's tough.
What's going to this is probably what I think is going to happen. They're going to split away from the NCAA. That's going to be done and gone with. You're going to have the teams that really want to compete for championships. Then you'll have another division, and then you'll have the smaller schools. I think it will be a super league, and then I think they've got to come together and go, look, this is how much we're going to play the kid. I just don't see how it can keep going on like it is right now. I think it's going to blow up. I think it's going to turn the fans off sooner or later. They can screw up college football forever.
Right, and this is what I've been talking about for months and months now. I mean, going back to last year. I think, and he'll never say it publicly, but Greg Sankey, there's another reason that you brought in Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC. There's another reason. And the SEC is on the verge right now. When they get Texas and Oklahoma, I mean, wouldn't you agree that they're on the cusp of being a super conference?
Oh, yeah.
You think it's just a coincidence that ESPN bought and CBS kind of dropped the ball on that, and ESPN said, no, we're going to pay for that TV contract for football and basketball, and in the next 2 years they'll have that.
Yeah.
So it's all been set up beautifully for a super conference, and I think the Big 12 would be on board. I would think what's left of it. The Pac-12, I don't think you're going to get any kind of commitment on that. And then of course, what did we just hear a few days ago? Well, now Emmert's going to lead the NCAA. He's stepping down. So
God.
I think there are a lot of things going on now. I think there will be a wait and see. Let's see what happens with the NCAA and the new leadership. But I think Greg Sankey has prepped the SEC and gotten them ready for if there is a breakaway, the SEC is going to be able to do it. They'll have their TV contract is already done. It's signed, sealed, delivered, and the SEC will be just fine.
I think you knocked out of the ballpark everything you just got through talking about. All right, let's shift gears to the draft tonight or tomorrow night. What do you think? How many Florida guys will go? What's your thoughts on that? What are you hearing?
If one goes in the first round, it'll be Kier Elam, and it won't be till late. One of the guys that I talk to every year about the draft, he's on the phone quite a bit, talking to scouts and a few assistant coaches here and there. But he said, look, here's the knock on Kier Elam and why he's dropped. He said, because he's soft. Too many scouts are saying if this guy was a more aggressive tackler, if he did a better job tackling and acted like he wanted to do it, but they saw a shift in him. You remember, 2 years ago, guys, Kier Elam was almost a sure shot top 15 draft pick, maybe top 20. But now, I mean, most mock drafts had him in the second round or in the late first round. So that's been the knock on him, is that he doesn't appear he's kind of got the C.J. Henderson syndrome, if you will. Jacksonville drafts C.J. Henderson, and then they parted away from him. And part of the reason, all the word coming out of Jacksonville is, man, he doesn't want to tackle. He's soft. He doesn't want to get hurt. He wants to keep his career going, or whatever it may be. And that's a tough road to hoe. So he would be the one. Zach Carter's his name will get called pretty early. Because there is a drop-off at defensive tackle. I think the first 5, maybe 6 defensive tackles in the draft are really good. But after that, boy, there's a bit of a drop-off. But I think Carter will be one of those first guys after the drop-off. His name will be called. So I think he'll go in the first 3 rounds. And beyond that, Coach, I love Dameon Pierce. There's a guy that runs tough. He runs hard. He can do it all. I would have no problem if I was an NFL exec calling his name in the 3rd, 4th round, somewhere around there.
I don't think people realize Florida Gators are the second most first-round draft picks to any team in the SEC. They're 8th in the nation first-round draft picks with 56. Alabama was number 1 in the SEC with 74. Then it's the Florida Gators. LSU, 48. Tennessee, 46. Georgia with 39 school history. Texas A&M 35, Auburn 32, Arkansas 22, Ole Miss 22, Missouri 20, Kentucky 16, South Carolina 15, Mississippi State 14, Vandy was 70th in the nation and number 9 with 9 players drafted. first round. So Florida has a history of turning out unbelievable football players. I didn't realize that they were 8th in the nation and 2nd in the SEC, and that's all time.
Yeah, but you've seen that go down under Dan Mullen, which is very bizarre.
Yeah.
But it also speaks volumes as to why he's not here. Again, you've got to – you can't only recruit the elite talent. You got to be able to sign, seal, deliver it, and bring it in. And you've got to be able to deliver and develop some other players. I think he and his staff did, for the most part, a good job in developing players. I wasn't thrilled with the safety position, but I mean that's where Florida is right now. It's just weird, very bizarre. Over the past several years, you go back the last 6 years or so, and say, okay, let's maybe 8 years. Let's see the wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, cornerbacks from the University of Florida who were drafted in the first round, and then compare it to the 20 years before that, and you go, wow, it's a stark difference.
That is crazy what you just said, because you used to think all those great receivers when Spurrier was the head football coach, the quarterbacks, the running backs, it was incredible. Even defensive players, he had Javon Curse, those guys, and you just don't see it right now. But I do think with Billy Napier there, I think you're getting ready to see it. The guy, he learned from the two of the best. He knows what he's doing. He can recruit. People like him. I do think he's going to get it going at Florida. I really do.
I do too. I think he's on the right path. Again, they are the staff and just the early stuff feedback that I've been getting. The high school coaches are saying, "Hey, this guy and his staff are doing it the right way. They're doing it the right way."
Mark,
and they'll tell you Mullen hasn't been doing that. Mullen didn't do that, and that was a problem.
Well, Mark, we'll talk to you next Wednesday. Have a great weekend, buddy. Our time is up. Thank you so much for coming on. What's the best way to listen to you?
1021news.com at 4 o'clock Eastern, and certainly on Twitter at McLeod Live.
All right. We'll see you later. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Michigan, you want to get something real quick, a little love on somebody? Give it in.
Just want to give a little shout out to the Emerald Coast Maroons 11U baseball team, the pride of the beach, the Little League team 11U, and they'll be playing at the Mother's Day Bash at Frank Brown and Panama City Beach.
Good
so
job.
11U. They've been around for a little less than a year and already have one tournament title and a couple runner-ups. That's pretty good for a baseball team that's only been around less than a year. So I got to say, Coach, go Marlins.
All right. Do not forget, later today, David has got a great show line. Him and Boston T, the underdogs. You'll love it. Fine bombs from 6 to 10. Don't forget about the Atlanta Braves. We're out. Brian, thank you, sir. We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
At 22's back to Kendall.
.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Everything Bagel, it doesn't have a name of the flavor. It's like saying my favorite team is the NFC East. You can't do that. You got to pick a team. I will go to the mat
that
on
would be
this
the
one.
NFC. Like my favorite team is the NFC. It's
right.
Incorporating a lot of.
It's the Rob Lowe would have a hat that says Bagel. Like he has a hat that just said NFL. You can Everything Bagel should be off the floor.
Dan Patrick.
The Dan Patrick Show.
9 to 11 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
Bay Handyman Services is your complete home services company. Their slogan is listen better, plan better, build better. Bay Handyman Services holds a 5-star rating, and they're a local company serving Bay and surrounding counties. They offer a wide variety of services, from simply hanging a picture to full house remodels. Bay Handyman Services provides 24/7 emergency services. Call them at 850-753-5014 or visit their website, bayhandymanservices.com.
The original J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive, Panama City Beach, serving Bay County and visitors from the U.S., Canada, and around the world since 1976. A little Southern, a little Creole, and a lot of hospitality. Come enjoy J. Michael's seafood platter.